There are tens of thousands of air and marine movements across and within the borders of the United States every day. Most are routine, well documented, and perfectly legitimate. But some of those movements are more suspicious, possibly sinister and potentially deadly. They travel in secret, but they do not go unseen, because every hour of every day, the men and women of U.S. Customs and Border Protection's Air and Marine Operations Center stand watch. Hello and welcome to Inside CBP. I'm Michael Pope. In this edition, you will see the inner workings of the Air and Marine Operations Center, or AMOC, in Riverside, California. A highly secure operation where every aircraft and boat that is moving, civilian or military, from Maine to California, Canada to Mexico, day or night, is seen, tracked, and identified under the watchful eyes of U.S. Customs and Border Protection. This is the only operation of its kind in the nation. For 24 hours a day, CBP detection enforcement officers monitor more than 250 radar sources, including air traffic control and approach control radars, satellites, aerostat radar balloons, the P-3 Orion aircraft, and the Predator B unmanned aircraft systems. But as important as the resources and technology are, it's the knowledge and experience of the people watching these screens that accomplishes the mission. They represent different agencies: CBP, Coast Guard, the Federal Aviation Administration, and the Air National Guard. Dedicated, skilled, and smart. And today, as every day, they know that somewhere, hidden among the thousands of legitimate radar signatures, there will be something wrong. Something that demands a closer look. Every exception is regarded as a potential threat. 0600 hours. The morning watch team arrives. Detection enforcement officers, the communications group, and intelligence specialists. The Air and Marine Operations Surveillance System, or AMOS, is the most advanced law enforcement air and marine surveillance system in the United States. This state-of-the-art technology, together with real-time analysis, communications capabilities, and years of combined experience, make AMOC intel among the most effective in federal law enforcement. The Air and Marine Operations Center is unique and vital to our nation's security, operated by U.S. Customs and Border Protection. Here with me from the CBP Office of Air and Marine is Tony Crowder, Director of the Air and Marine Operations Center. Tony, welcome to Inside CBP.
Mike, it's a pleasure to be here, as always.
So when did AMOC first come into operation?
The current facility was finished in 1988, located at Riverside, California, at the March Air Reserve Base. Prior to that, we had been borrowing operational space from our North American Aerospace Defense Command partners.
And why is AMOC unique in securing our nation's borders?
Well, it is the nation's federal law enforcement air interdiction center, and as such, we bring together investigative data, intelligence data, domain awareness data in a unique fashion that allows us to find people who are using general aviation aircraft for illicit purposes. Additionally, the Office of Air and Marine is operating a fleet of Predator unmanned aerial systems. These bring a very unusual domain awareness component in that they are able to support ground operations, some air operations, but most importantly, recently, we're pioneering maritime operations with a maritime search radar on the Predator aircraft. All of that information is available and flows into the AMOC to again help us know what is happening in our area of responsibility.
Now, this is a 24/7 operation, correct?
That is correct. We have various disciplines operating 7x24 to include CBP Office of Field Operations, also from Border Patrol, from Department of Defense, from FAA. We have Mexican liaisons. We have international and interagency presence, 7x24.
Now, being able to communicate with CBP law enforcement personnel on the ground throughout the entire country plays a critical role in securing our nation's borders. Operations at AMOC provide a communications link between the various CBP officers and other civilian law enforcement operators in any geographic area of the United States. Let's take a look at a typical scenario that might happen at any time.
950, 1 Mike Romeo.
1 Mike Romeo 950.
1 Mike Romeo has picked up appears to be a white twin-engine, 26-foot go fast.
1 Mike Romeo, one of our Dash 8s out of Miami, is on patrol and picked up what we call a go fast, headed towards Florida.
Get a hold of branch so they can get some Marine units out there.
The Miami Air and Marine Branch launches two 39-foot Midnight Express interceptors to investigate the fast-moving vessel and examine its cargo. The Midnight Express interceptors are among the fastest law enforcement vessels in the world. Out here, to hesitate is to lose, so it isn't long before the interceptors find their prey. Meanwhile, a CBP Bombardier Dash 8, a multi-role patrol aircraft equipped with multi-mode radar and electro-optical infrared sensors, monitors the activity overhead.
The 951 Mike Romeo suspect vessel has been intercepted, and that they are in the process of boarding the vessel. I have a registration advisory copy.
The suspect craft was no match for the 60-knot Midnight Express. The smugglers and their boat were apprehended with over 400 kilos of cocaine in the hold.
That's about 1,000 pounds of cocaine. It's not the biggest we've ever got. It's not the smallest, but that's a good large amount.
In the evening hours, traffic over and around the continental U.S. builds. Commercial, passenger, and cargo planes, military aircraft, domestic and international vessels. From Bar Harbor to San Diego, U.S. airspace and border waterways will see more than 150,000 operations in this day alone. It's a lot of movement, and criminal activity could be concealed. A lot of haystack for the needle to hide in.
Soup. Got a 1200 code north of North Dakota, tracking toward Pembina. I'm not finding anything in the system that indicates that he's expected.
Looking for a citation, possibly, if we have one available.
Thank you.
We have a suspect aircraft that's about to cross the U.S.-Canadian border north of Pembina. The aircraft is about going to cross the border in about 3 minutes. Let's get him on a 320 vector as soon as possible.
Roger.
Let's call the Ramsey County Sheriff and see if they're able to assist us in a response out to Devils Lake Regional.
With the aircraft on the ground, CBP AMOC officers were able to contact local authorities to find out exactly why this pilot had his aircraft in the wrong place at the wrong time. As you saw, AMOC has the capability to not only see all air and marine traffic, but also initiate the proper responses from a variety of law enforcement officers to halt potentially dangerous situations. Still with me is AMOC Director Tony Crowder. Tony, in your opinion, how important is AMOC as a national security asset?
Well, I think it's important because, as we spoke earlier, it is unique. There isn't another place that does the work that we do. So if you look at it from a very simplistic standpoint, there's really no safety net for someone flying a general aviation aircraft across or within our borders who are intending to use it for illegal purposes. You know, the local sheriff's departments, they don't have radar centers. They don't have jets sitting on alert. They don't have any of those assets. So we become kind of a unique entity in that fashion because the Office of Air and Marine is the nation's, actually the world's largest federal law enforcement air and marine force.
Director Tony Crowder, thank you very much for joining us on Inside CBP.
Mike, it's very much been my pleasure. I appreciate the time you gave me today to discuss a unique capability within Homeland Security.
Well, it was truly our pleasure. To learn more about CBP Air and Marine, search Air and Marine on cbp.gov. For Inside CBP, I'm Michael Pope.